as we expand towards 2030, which is seemingly getting closer and closer every day, making the autonomous corn and soy production system. So that means jobs beyond land preparation. That could be planting, that could obviously be application, that could be crop harvesting, that could be grain cart applications. And so you think about all of these jobs that our customers do throughout the year, really starting with that foundational piece of tillage unlocks or opens the door for those additional jobs.
It's fascinating. On the autonomy side for trucking, there's a driver shortage and it's having a negative impact on the economy. We saw what happened in the supply chain during the pandemic, and we're seeing what's happened with inflation. If you fast forward 7 billion people in the world, we need food. I call it yummy tummies. You want yummy tummies with fresh food. Deere's getting ahead of it and could have a positive impact to the U.S. economy and to the global economy to potentially reduce inflation because you're investing in autonomy now to ensure that there is not a farmer shortage in the future. Applauds for that. How many autonomous tractors are out in the wild today for Deere?
Today, we're operating with dozens of customers. These are paying customers, and now that might seem a little odd why I would throw that in there, but the reality is operating with paying customers has really unlocked what do customers truly need. And I think that's what's been able to really accelerate the development of autonomy, specifically to Deere, is that started with customers early and getting the right customer, of course, but then also bringing the customer on the journey with us and essentially putting a little bit of skin in the game to really pressure test what we have to build, what we have to focus on, and then obviously getting that offering to those customers along the way. So those dozens of customers, it may not seem like a lot, but they have been absolutely instrumental in developing autonomy and helping us on this journey. That has been key.
It changes the game. You're going to get honest feedback. Paying customers vote with their wallet. They'll tell you point blank because they're spending money. Let's say, hypothetically, it's hypothetical, you have a non-paying customer. Oh, this is nice. I want to keep it going. Well, a paying customer is going to hold you accountable to it because, as I said, they're going to vote with their wallet. From a business model perspective, how is Deere deploying these autonomous trackers? Are they leases? Are they subscriptions? Are they you purchase it and then you pay for an autonomy subscription? What does that look like?
Customers today can purchase autonomy-enabling hardware on, let's say, the tractor, for example. So whether you have an existing, we'll eventually have this solution as an existing, if you have an existing vehicle, so a retro solution, so to speak, as well as purchasing new equipment. So we're going to focus on that one right now. But customers can order autonomy-enabling hardware from our factories today on select models of tractors. So that's pretty exciting. Now, when we fully commercialize this next year, you'll need to, of course, purchase the perception system, complete the kit, and then the software will be a SaaS model. So a solutions as a service product where customers are only paying as they use. And we've gotten really good feedback, again, going back to these paying customers on how does that type of business model work for their operation. And really what we found is that from an operation of any size, this tends to fit pretty nicely. So one example, we have a customer that has since retired from farming. We want just as much as he wants to stay connected to the land. He wants to continue to farm even though he's retired. And he's heavily reliant on part-time help in this phase of his career, life, etc. He's looking at autonomy as like, hey, look, I have a low upfront hardware cost and I only have to pay as I need help. And this is really an unlock for him to continue farming, essentially doing what he loves. And we see that also with farms of scale where maybe they're the lead employer essentially in the area. So they don't have as maybe big of a labor problem, but they're also looking at it like, okay, I can now be much more productive than I previously was by extending my day with the cost of technology and as I use it, rather than essentially trying to manage the logistics of operating 24/7. So from farms of various scales, this has been pretty well received over time as we've walked that journey and got that spec for billing right with our customers.
That's a game changer. I think about, and this is not really in your field, but we had a medical episode a while back. You're helping mental health. You could extend his life because he's happy. He's doing what he loves. There's a lot of societal benefits outside the economic benefits. You just unlock societal benefits from there.